Okay, so ready to step into a carpet fitter interview. You're probably good with your hands, have an eye for detail, and love seeing a room transform. This deep dive is all about giving you the know-how to nail those interview questions. We'll break down common questions, give you smart strategies, and even toss in some career insights and how RoleCatcher's AI can help you prepare.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about. It's a field with a lot of possibilities. A lot of people don't realize just how much skill goes into creating a beautifully finished carpeted
I
space.
know, right? It's an art.
Eh.
Okay, so before we get into the Q&A, let's set the stage. What does a carpet fitter do day to day?
It's kind of like you're an artist crafting a smooth, flawless surface. It's more than just laying carpet. You're measuring with precision, cutting perfectly prepping surfaces, and often working on your own or as part of a team. It can be physically demanding, but so rewarding when you see the final result.
Okay, that makes sense. So now let's get to those interview questions. One you'll probably hear is, describe your experience with different types of carpets. They're looking for more than just, I've seen shag carpeting.
Right, definitely. They're testing your knowledge here. You'll want to mention the range of carpet types you've worked with, like loop pile, cut pile woven carpets. What about specialized installations, like those with tricky patterns or unique materials? Be specific. And even mention a couple of challenging situations and how you overcame them.
So tell a quick story about that tricky corner in a historic home and how you made the carpet fit perfectly.
Yes, it shows you can think on your feet and handle the unexpected work, which is important on the job. And it might lead to a follow-up question like, what are some key things to consider when working with different pile types?
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
So I nailed that question. What's next? They'll probably want to know about my process. What about how do you ensure accurate carpet measurement and cutting?
Now you can show off your precision, walk them through your process step by step. Do you use measuring tapes, laser measuring devices? How do you handle room irregularities or those odd-shaped nooks? And how do you double-check your work to avoid costly mistakes?
This reminds me of those online videos where they cut the carpet perfectly in one go. It looks so easy.
It does, but really there's a lot of planning and careful execution involved. It's also a good time to mention if you've used any computer-aided design software. It shows you're up to date with the technology. They might even ask, have you ever had to adjust a cut on the fly, and how did you handle it?
That's a good one. It shows you can adapt because things don't always go perfectly to plan on a job site.
Exactly. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about subfloor prep. I bet they'll ask about that.
Oh, for sure. I can see how do you prepare the subfloor coming my way.
You got it. And this question is all about being thorough. It's like building a house. You need a solid foundation for everything else to work. Explain the steps. Cleaning, leveling, repairing imperfections, moisture checks. They want to see you understand the importance of each step and how it affects the final installation.
So it's not just about the carpet work. It's the groundwork that makes it all possible.
Exactly. It shows your attention to detail and your commitment to a quality, long-lasting installation. They might even follow up with, what are some common subfloor issues you've seen and how have you fixed them?
Good point. Sharing a specific example really shows your problem-solving skills and experience. This is all great info, but now I'm thinking about those questions that make you sweat a little. You know, the ones about past experiences. Like, tell me about a time you solved a problem during an installation.
Ah, yes, the behavioral questions. But don't worry, this is your time to shine.
Oh, really? How so?
Think about a specific challenge you faced on the job. Maybe you found a hidden pipe had to deal with an uneven floor, or ran into a pattern mismatch. Walk them through what you did. How did you assess the situation, adapt your approach, and finally get a positive outcome? It's all about showing you can think critically and find solutions on the spot.
So sharing that time I creatively fixed a misaligned pattern with some clever seaming would be a good story.
For sure, it shows your resourcefulness and dedication to delivering a quality installation. They might follow up and ask, what did you learn from that experience and how has it shaped how you approach installations now?
Ah, I see. They're digging deeper into my learning and growth mindset, which is important for any job.
Yes, it's about showing you're always learning and growing as a professional.
Okay, so let's talk about stretching, another crucial part of carpet fitting.
Okay, bring it on. What kind of question should I expect about that?
Something like, how do you ensure the carpet is properly stretched? They're not just asking about how you do it, but also why. So explain that proper stretching prevents wrinkles and bunching, which can ruin the look and how long the carpet lasts.
So it's about avoiding that wavy carpet look that screams amateur job.
Exactly. Now, describe how you get that perfect stretch. Talk about using a power stretcher and knee kicker, and maybe even touch on the risks of stretching it wrong. You want to show you know how important it is to do it right.
It makes me think about those DIY carpet installations gone wrong that you see online. It makes you realize how much skill goes into doing it right.
You got it. It's a real craft.
Yeah.
Now, they might follow up with, what are some things that can affect the stretching process, and how do you adjust your technique accordingly? Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. They're not just looking for textbook answers. They want real-world understanding and problem solving.
You're catching on quick. Now let's move on to another detail-oriented aspect of carpet fitting. Seams.
Seams. I'm thinking they'll ask, how do you make seams invisible? It almost sounds like magic.
It kind of is. You need a really good technique. Describe how you use seam tape and a seaming iron and really emphasize getting the alignment just right. If you want, you could briefly mention different seaming techniques for different carpet types.
So it's like I'm showing them I've got different techniques for different situations, not just one way to do it.
Exactly. It shows a deeper understanding. They might ask, what's the most difficult seam you've ever had to deal with, and how did you make it look seamless?
Sharing a story really makes it real.
Yeah.
So what if I'm going for a commercial job? I imagine the questions are a little different then.
For sure. If they ask, what's your experience with commercial carpet installation? Be ready to talk about any relevant experience. Commercial projects are often pretty different.
Like, how are residential and commercial carpets different? I'm picturing a big ballroom versus someone's living room.
You got it. Commercial places usually need carpets that can handle lots of foot traffic and meet safety standards. And sometimes they even need special things like anti-static properties. The size of the project is usually a lot bigger too, which has its own challenges.
So it's not just about how it looks, but how long it lasts and if it's practical.
Right. If you have experience with certain commercial carpet types or installations, definitely mention that. They could ask, what are some unique things to consider when installing carpet in a high-traffic area like a hotel lobby?
It really makes you realize how much there is to know about carpet fitting. Okay, changing gears again. What about carpet repair and maintenance? I bet that's good to know.
Definitely. They might ask, tell me about your experience with carpet repair and maintenance. This is where you show what you can do beyond just putting in new carpet.
So it's like, I'm not just there for the new carpet smell. I can handle fixing it when things go wrong.
Yep.
Talk about common repairs you've done, like fixing seams, patching, and re-stretching. Describe how you do maintenance, like cleaning and removing stains. They want to see that you can take care of the carpet throughout its life.
It makes me think about those DIY carpet cleaning videos. Some work and some are a disaster.
For sure. It takes some knowledge to know what works best for different carpets and stains. They might ask, what would you tell a customer about maintaining their new carpet so it lasts longer?
Okay, so it's about showing I know my stuff and can give good advice. I like that.
So how does RoleCatcher fit into all of this?
Remember, RoleCatcher's AI can really help you out. It looks at job descriptions, finds skills that are missing on your CV, and suggests things you can add to make it better. So you stand out from the crowd.
So it's like a personal career coach. You mentioned something called career guides. What's that about?
Oh, it's great. You can find detailed guides on tons of different careers, over 3,000, including carpet fitting, of course.
So if I want to specialize in, say, eco-friendly installations, I could see what that would be like as a career.
Yeah. You'll find information on typical things you'd do in the job skills you'd need, possible career paths, and even salary expectations. It's really useful for researching and planning your career.
Sounds like there's something for everyone, whether you're just starting out or want to move up in your career.
Exactly. And it's not just for people looking for jobs. Even if you're already a carpet fitter, the guides can help you keep learning. Stay up to date on the latest trends, explore new specializations, or even just brush up on your skills.
Okay, so RoleCatcher is awesome for anyone in the carpet fitting world. But let's get back to something you mentioned earlier, how RoleCatcher's AI can analyze job descriptions. How does that work?
It's really cool. You just upload the job description you're interested in, and RoleCatcher's AI scans it to figure out the important skills and experience they're looking for.
It's like having a personal recruiter breaking down the job ad for me.
Yeah, but here's the best part. It compares those skills and experience requirements to your CV and shows you what's missing.
So if the job ad says, you need experience with commercial carpets, but my CV only talks about residential work, RoleCatcher will tell me that.
Exactly. You'll know exactly what skills to emphasize, what experience to talk about, and even what keywords to include to make your application stand out. No more guessing.
That's amazing. It's like having a cheat code for job hunting.
Yeah.
What about the actual interview? Can RoleCatcher help with that too?
Definitely. Remember those tough interview questions we talked about? RoleCatcher has a huge library of practice questions, over 120,000, covering all kinds of industries and jobs.
So I can find questions just for carpet fitting interviews with real-world examples and tips.
Yep. And the feedback is specific to the job you're applying for. RoleCatcher's AI looks at your answer and gives you suggestions on how to make it better. It's like having a personal interview coach.
I wish I had that when I was job hunting. It would have saved me so much stress.
I know, right? It's really helpful. And the best part is it's always being updated with new questions and information.
It's like having a resource that's always evolving to help me prepare for any interview. Okay, we've talked a lot about the technical side of carpet fitting and how to ace those interview questions, but we can't forget about soft skills.
You're right. Things like communication, problem solving, and customer service are super important for any carpet fitter to be successful.
How do you highlight those in an interview? It's not as easy as showing them your seaming technique.
Think about times you've had to communicate with customers or colleagues. Maybe you had to explain a complicated installation process in a way that was easy to understand, or maybe you had to resolve a conflict or deal with a difficult customer.
So it's about showing I can build relationships, manage expectations, and deal with those tricky situations that come up on the job.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to share those stories during your interview. They're just as important as your technical skills, maybe even more.
I'm seeing now that being a good carpet fitter is about more than just the technical stuff. It's about problem-solving communication and being a professional who cares about doing a great job.
Exactly. Now let's talk about career paths in carpet fitting. There's more to it than you might think.
Okay, tell me more. I want to hear about the different stages, from starting as an apprentice to becoming a pro.
So let's start at the beginning. As an apprentice, you'll learn from more experienced fitters. You'll help with things like measuring, cutting, and prepping surfaces, and as you learn more, you'll take on more responsibility.
So it's hands-on learning. You're soaking up all the knowledge from the experts.
Exactly. It's a great way to get a solid foundation and really understand what the job is like day to day.
So what's the next step? What does it take to become a junior carpet fitter?
As a junior fitter, you'll be able to do more things on your own, like measuring and cutting carpets, prepping surfaces, and even installing carpets with a little supervision. You'll get more confident and learn even more skills.
It sounds like a lot of responsibility, but also lots of chances to grow.
Definitely. And as you gain experience and confidence, you can become an experienced carpet fitter, managing and running projects all the way through.
So you're not just installing carpets, you're leading projects, making decisions, and guiding a team.
That's right. You'll talk to clients, estimate costs, and even train and mentor junior fitters. It's a leadership role that needs a good understanding of the craft, great communication, and the ability to manage people.
Wow, that sounds challenging, but also really rewarding. Is there a level even higher than that?
Of course. For those who want to reach the top, there's the role of senior carpet fitter.
What do they do? I imagine someone who's seen and done it all, a true expert.
You got it. Senior carpet fitters are the masters of their craft. They lead teams of fitters, come up with quality control procedures, work with suppliers, and provide their expertise to make sure projects are done to the highest standards.
That's impressive. It's clear that there's a real path for growth in the carpet fitting industry.
For sure. And the best part is you don't need a college degree to start. Apprenticeships are really common. You'll learn on the job and get paid while you're learning. There are also some vocational schools that offer carpet fitting programs.
It's great that there are different ways to get started. What about continuing education? Can you keep learning even when you've been doing it for a while?
Absolutely. There are industry groups like the National Institute of Carpet and Floor Layers, NICFL. They offer workshop certifications and networking opportunities. It's important to stay up to date on the latest techniques and trends, especially in a trade that's always changing.
So even if you've been doing it for years, there's always something new to learn and ways to get better.
Exactly. Now let's get back to the job search. We've covered the interview questions, but what about your CV?
Right. It's the first thing an employer sees. How can you make your CV stand out in the carpet fitting world?
The most important thing is to tailor it to the specific job you're applying for. Focus on the skills and experience that are most relevant.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful. It looks at job descriptions and tells you what's missing from your CV so you know what to change.
Exactly. But beyond that, you should show off what you've accomplished. Don't just list your responsibilities, quantify what you achieved. Did you always go above and beyond on installations? Did you get great feedback from customers? Those are the details that make a CV really impressive.
So instead of just saying installed carpets, I could say something like installed carpets in over 100 homes, exceeding customer satisfaction targets by 95%.
Yes. It gives them a much better idea of what you can do. And don't forget to proofread carefully. Typos and grammar mistakes look really bad.
Great advice. We've talked about a lot, but before we finish part two, there's one more thing I want to bring up. Networking.
You're right. People don't always think about networking, but it can really help with your job search.
So how do you network in the carpet fitting world? Do I have to go to fancy events and shake hands with important people?
Not necessarily. Going to industry events is great for meeting people and hearing about jobs, but it's not the only way. Joining professional organizations like the NICFL we talked about can help you meet more people and get access to resources and mentors.
So it's about making connections with people in the industry, learning from them, and staying up to date on what's happening.
Exactly. And don't forget about online networking. LinkedIn is great for connecting with people in carpet fitting and showing off your skills and experience.
This has been so informative. We've talked about everything from nailing interview questions to different career paths, and even how RoleCatcher's AI can help. We've covered so much in this deep dive into carpet fitting, from interview prep to career paths, and even AI. But before we wrap up, I want to get back to specializing.
It's a really good way for carpet fitters to stand out and even make more money. It's kind of like finding your niche and becoming the expert in that area.
What are some specializations you could explore, more than just really good at shag carpets?
You could focus on a specific type of carpet, like high-end wool carpets that need extra care and precision, or specialize in eco-friendly installations using sustainable materials and techniques. Or you could be the master of intricate patterns or tricky spaces like stairs.
So like a carpet fitting ninja, handling those jobs most people avoid.
Exactly. And when you become the expert in your niche, you can charge more and get clients who really appreciate quality. You build a reputation for being the best at what you do.
So it's about mastering a specific area within carpet fitting.
Yeah. And it can open up more opportunities, like starting your own business or becoming a consultant. You're the go-to person sharing your knowledge and skills.
That's really cool. It shows that even in a trade like carpet fitting, there's room to be creative and do your own thing.
Absolutely. It's about taking your passion to the next level and making a career that you love, and that's successful too.
Okay, so before we finish this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Sounds good.
As you start your carpet fitting journey, remember that it's more than just a job. It's a craft that takes skill, precision, and a love for making spaces beautiful.
I love that. It's about being proud of your work, creating beautiful and functional floors that people will enjoy for years.
And remember, you never stop learning. Be curious, learn about new technologies, and always try to improve your skills. Whether you're just starting or you've been doing it for years, there's always something new to discover in carpet fitting.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is here to help you every step of the way. From making a great CV to acing those interviews and exploring career paths, RoleCatcher has the tools and resources to help you succeed.
It's been great talking about the world of carpet fitting with you today.
I agree. And to all our listeners out there, good luck on your carpet fitting journey. We can't wait to see what you achieve.